What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonuff71, aka Digga Dolomite.
That purple bling bling, y'all.
And your auditory canals are locked into episode 275 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. As usual, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime. First on deck, we got Dez, aka the Bay Area Terror, aka the High Res Hater.
That's me.
AKA the Cat Daddy, aka that gamer stepdaddy. What's going on, man?
Hey, as always, not much. Just trying to wrap my head around daylight savings time as it is now spring ahead. So, woo.
It's 5 o'clock right now. This is a lie. This is a fraud. Fake time, fake news.
Yeah, a friend of mine was all like, don't forget to set your alarm on fire because time doesn't exist. I was just like, yeah, well, and until I stop, having to be somewhere at a specific time, I'm gonna keep on rolling with it. So, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Having a great weekend of just bed rejuvenation and just not being just kind of being in my aura, so to speak. So
oh good lord. You have some Buddha beads and some bean sprouts to share with the listeners too?
No Buddha beads. No Buddha beads. Thank you very much, sir. No Buddha beads. But yoga, slave, yoga. No. Other than that, doing great. Having a good day. And just happy to be able to record with you fine fellows. So yeah. Pretty good.
All right. And of course, our show is a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah, that's me.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just usual stuff. I'm all prepared to go to work tomorrow. My government agency is doing the return to work as of tomorrow. So guess, what agency I might work for. It kind of taxes my brain a little bit.
Get your ass to work, sir.
I know.
Work for Doge.
Yeah. But that's all. I'm all preparing for that. In fact, as soon as we get done with the recording of this said podcast, this beautiful desk area that I've worked and toiled for the U.S. government, I am breaking out my telework area of this desk, and it's going to, I'll give it its 21 gun salute. I'll salute it quite well on there because, yeah.
Does it involve a middle finger?
No, it does not involve a middle finger. I love my job. This is recorded.
Wow.
This is recorded. I am a happy servant of the United States government.
My job is fun. I love my job so much.
So that's what it is. So I don't mind. I mean, I've worked for years in the office, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
The only thing is I have a 12-year-old dog named Jack, and it's me and him are buddies and whatnot. He's sleeping right beside me off to the left in this room, and it's I know I want to spend as much time as I can with him. So if I could work from home, I'd spend more time with him, but I'll just cherish the time when I get home. Yeah, and just spend.
But make him a service animal. Take him to work.
Got it. Or I know these people sometimes at other private companies they say, oh, this is my stress relief animal. I need to bring him to be able to be able to do what I need to do. So, but I would love to bring him in the office, but I'm better off leaving it at home.
Just tell him you need your aura recharge. That should.
There you go.
There you go. I need my aura. My aura.
Well, it's okay, because in the office, guess who sits next to me? Goonie, our
Oh,
long listener, Goonie. So,
Goonie
you
over here
know,
sitting there with you, huh? Just chilling out without
yeah,
a doubt.
we are brothers in arms. That's right.
There
So,
you go. Goonie's all like, "What's up? What's up?"
All
So
right, folks. So
it's awesome.
our work woes aside, it's time for what is always our first topic on the docket, and that's going to be the playlist. So I can't remember who we kicked off with last week. So let's kick things off with Dez. What you been playing this week, man?
Well, same. What is it? Last verse, same as the first or something. So, Borderlands 3 and Monster Hunter Wilds. Those seems to be the two games that are on our radar right now, especially for Joe and myself, and you too, Kev. I'm assuming. I've been playing that a lot, so I figured we could talk a little bit. The three of us could talk about that towards the end, and have kind of like a round table about how our Monster Hunter Wilds experiences has been, because it has been about 2 weeks now. Um, just the game has been released. I know people in our friend groups have already beaten the game. We know folks that are approaching 100 hunter rank, and I'm still at like 3 or something. So I think we could definitely have a nice conversation about Monster Hunter Wilds and just kind of chop that up too. So before we go into that, just want to say still playing Borderlands 3, still trying to race to the end. I do want to beat this game. I want to beat it. I want to roll credits on it. I feel that Joe and I have done quite a bit in the game, so I really want to just wrap a bow on it and put it away, especially before Borderlands 4 comes out. So I'm sure we're gonna get it done before September. Man, I hope so. But yeah, that's kind of where I am in both of my stuff. So I'm gonna kick it over to Joe. Sorry. The last thing I've been playing was I fired up my Steam Deck and I started playing a couple of, well, only one game really on my Steam Deck, and that is I Am Legion Stand Survivors, and as it sounds, it is a Vampire Survivors clone, and I have been playing that, and it's a lot of fun. It takes that regular, what is it, that gameplay from Vampire Survivors and adds a little bit more to it. Like as any good like copy should do, you should add a little bit to it to make it a little bit different and hopefully a little bit better, and this one does. So if you got caught that, Stand Survivors is an actual homage to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, in that your character has these spirits that operate around you, and they attack and kill minions as you're running around doing certain things, surviving basically. And you go to these altars, and then you use souls, and as they level up, they get souls, and then you use those souls to buy new other copies of those same souls. Like, and there's like tons of them. And you combine them to create stronger versions of those stands, and then those stands get put together to create new stands. That you can't that you can only get from combining other stands. So there's this kind of like combining tree that you do. Same thing with any kind of equipment that you get. You can equip up to 6 items, and then you forge them, and different rarities and all this other stuff. So it has a lot of stuff going for it, and there's always a skill tree, and then there's unlockable characters that do different things. So I'm playing it on my Steam Deck, and I'm having a lot of fun. This is pretty much the only game, or the first game, that I've played on my Steam Deck. I have it docked, and so I'm playing it on my television, which is fantastic. And using a controller on it, while it works, sometimes it's not intuitive, so you have to kind of play around with it to get it to work. The games that say, "Hey, great for Steam Deck," are the ones that really are able to mostly be able to utilize the controller. So this game is it's super new, so it's not fully integrated yet, but you can still play it with a controller. There's certain things that still need to be ironed out. But other than that, I'm having a lot of fun with the game. These Survivor games are super cheap. They're super time wasters, and it's a good game just to kind of like, I really think that they're almost akin to like shmups. It's like a next evolution of shmups almost. So, but I'm enjoying it. You should probably check it out if you are a fan of those style of games. I think you would really enjoy it. I am, and that's pretty much all that I have been playing. And I will kick it over to Joe. That way he can talk about what he's been playing, and then hopefully, we can have a nice conversation about Monster Hunter Wilds with Kev and Joe and myself. So Joe, I'm kicking it over to you.
Okay, well, like Des stated, I am continuing my playthrough of Borderlands 3. I've been kind of a little chomping at the bit as far as playing, because I know me and Des were playing earlier in the week. I think we played on Monday and Tuesday after we recorded last episode. And so, I kind of find that if Des is not around, I'll just go in and do some arms race business and do a run. Yep. And, I've gotten so used to just running it and getting to the end, I am able to farm for weapons and be able to be ready once we're ready to continue our co-op campaign on there. I was kind of tempted to ask you, Des. I mean, once we get done with the main campaign, are we going to dive into the DLC, or is that something where I'll just have to kind of do that on my own?
Honestly, don't know, Joe. To be completely honest with you, I don't know. So. I definitely will try a couple of the DLCs. I know some of them are better than others, but
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I can't say for certain, but I can say I'll definitely give it a chance with you.
Real good deal. Okay, yeah. And also I've been playing just very briefly, still kind of plugging away at Earth Defense Force World Brothers 1 on there. Played a couple more missions on there, so the game's still treat me good on there. So it's like, when am I going to graduate and actually play EDF6? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I was tempted to buy EDF World Brothers 2, but I'm figuring I'll play some EDF6. And since I'm just buying World Brothers 2 digitally, and I might as well just wait to see when I'm ready to play it versus having any FOMO about it. If they had a physical, I'd buy it right away, because I am going to play it at some point. But, it is a kind of lesson learned for these publishers out here not wanting to release physicals. It's like, when am I going to have to order an Asian version of EDF World Brothers 2 for like $80 and import it, without any of the DLC, where I could get on sale like everything including DLC for like $44. That's like, it's something to where I'm starting to really look at what I'm buying and trying to get physical versus just saying, okay, screw it. If they're not going to give me the option to buy physical and I have to import and pay extra money above and beyond what I'm paying, I might as well just wait. So yeah, so you snooze you lose kind of thing, so depends on how much I want to buy the said physical items. So just like, I was all tempted when Virtua Fighter 5, the Ultimate Showdown, the physical from Limited Run, but after I looked at the collector's edition of a game I already own and I could buy for, when it's on sale, $10 or $15, and they have a collector's edition that's going for like $150 or $200. I mean, I'm sorry. I could dip that shit in gold. It's like I care about having all that stuff. But that's pretty much it. And then I've been playing Monster Hunter Wilds as well. So, I mean, the other days of my gaming this week has been dedicated, in playing with numerous people. We've been playing as a group. We do have a gaming vessels. I want to call it a link, but I always get the squad. We have a gaming vessel squad.
Link squad.
Yeah, Link squad. You got it. So if you want to join, definitely let us know. Come into our Discord. But it's a point that it's been really cool to play with some of the people in our community. John BT, Goonie, we have a mutual friend, Robert, we've been playing with from work on there that's been joining us. Christian, of course, and Ben and his group as well. So I mean, it's been a good old time on there. I've been enjoying the game so far. I'm still racking for me. Great sword. I still need to go in and do some tutorial business because even though I've been bringing the heavy bow gun with me, I tend to have been using it less and less and less. I just want to get in there and do my great sword, So, but I need to pick up a little bit more nuance with the heavy bow gun. I've thought about maybe even switching my secondary weapon up. It could be to where I just bring out great sword with a different elemental versus bringing out the bow gun. It might be more beneficial for me to just kind of concentrate on one weapon. So that's how I've been kind of approaching it. As far as armor or anything, I haven't been looking at sets or anything. I've just been going for the maximum defense I could get based on what I could build right now. I'm not looking at particular building specific sets for specific perks as of yet. I figure once I get towards more of the in-game, maybe after I roll credits and get into the after game on there, to be able to start taking a look at my loadouts and see what I want to do on there. I might actually, do a little bit more research into what's better for great sword and kind of take it from there. But right now, I look like the guy that went out and shopped at Goodwill. I'm just like, basically, I got like 2 pieces from one monster. I got 2 pieces from another monster, and then I got one last piece. So I just went for whatever defense I could get as high as I could build right now without, grinding. It seems like this game versus prior Monster Hunters is that I'm not spending as much time like kind of, let's fight this monster 5-6 times to get X part or Y part. I'm more like, okay, let's get to the next story beat and beat the monster. And we've been, as a community in the Link shell together, being able to help each other beat specific monsters. And that's where I'm taking a different approach with this game versus Monster Hunter games in the past. I've been grinding less on specific monsters. I just want to get to where, we beat the game and then kind of go from there to maybe think about the after game from there. I don't know how it's been for you guys on that aspect, but
I have a question about that real quick. So do you think you're grinding less because you're getting the materials that you need? Because I believe that, I don't know what it is, but you still have to grind, but it seems like the grind has been considerably less.
It's been less
or lower than normal. So
it's not only that, it's just I feel like before there was like a more gradual scale as far as being able to progress in the story, that you might need to do some side quests and some other optional quests where I'm taking a different approach with this game, and the game does allow you to be able to do that too. So I mean, I before in previous Monster Hunters, I'd gone to my optional quests and made sure I completed all my optional quests. This one I haven't made that kind of effort. So,
but I'm wondering, is that because you're still trying to get through? I don't know. Just there is definitely a different feeling from this game than the last one. So, Kev, what are your thoughts? I mean, I know you've been playing Monster Hunter pretty significantly this week. So what are some of your thoughts around it? I think it's the only game you've played, right?
Yeah, for the most part, it's the only game I played. I like it. I'm not going to say that I don't. I think it's really fun. I just think that a lot of the systems at play were either better explained or better executed in world. And I'll give you an example. I don't like the two weapon thing, the backup weapon system at all. I wish there was a way you could turn it off. If there is a way you could turn it off, let me know. I don't when I'm writing, when I carry a weapon, I just want my mind to be focused on the primary. And to me, I mean, yeah, I guess you could carry two of the same type, so it's not that big of an issue. But I don't know. There's just some if I'm taking the secret to my next destination and I accidentally tap the right button, the right directional on the digital pad, and he reaches in there and grabs another weapon. It's just another thing that takes me out of the system, or it takes me out of the game. It's like I don't want that. That's one of the reasons why I was so frustrated with the beta, was because there was no way to turn that feature off. Or again, if there was, I didn't know how. The game does not do a good job of explaining a lot of things to you, and maybe that's just kind of the tradition of Monster Hunter. Again, World was my first experience with the series. I wish there was like they need, and maybe if they did this, then the series wouldn't be what it traditionally has been. But Capcom needs to have like a quality of life discussion with regards to this series. And I don't know what it's like, just like linking up, like playing, just like playing with another person, doing multiplayer, doing setting up your what do you call it, your squad. It's not really explained well, or I don't even know if it's explained at all. It's just weird, man. And again, it sounds like I don't like the game at all. I do. But for me, I am grumpy old man gamer now. I have embraced that aspect of my personality. And if I gotta research and look up and either go to YouTube or for just to do basic-ish, it just really takes me out of my gaming experience. It's like, that's why I play on console, because I don't want to be bothered with figuring crap out like that. When I'm playing a game that has multiplayer, I just want to be able to jump in, squad up. Like I know two completely different games, but freaking Helldivers 2. If the homie Damon's on, I just join up with his game and I'm in his game. Or if he sees me on, he just joins up with my game and he's in my game. There's no go to the link, go to the squad up, send the link. You're just there. And I kind of, for things like that, I think Capcom needs to either hire somebody who understands quality of life issues, who can understand those quality of life issues without making Monster Hunter less Monster Hunter-y, or just copy and paste how other co-op, online co-op games do it, because I wasn't feeling it. Other aspects, again, this is going to sound real negative, Nancy, but again, I'm grumpy old man gamer now. It is what it is. I miss having the food cooked for me instead of having to cook all my own meals. I know that's weird, but I miss Grandma Kitty from World. I even miss the chipper. What was that? Doki maker from Rise.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but it's just like one of those. It's just kind of like one of those things that you just kind of get used to. And now my guy has to be his own chef, which I guess kind of makes sense considering what you're not really an established base really. You're basically moving from camp to camp, or and not really an established city or what have you. So I mean it's I don't know, it's not it doesn't kill anything for me. I just miss I just particularly I miss Grandma Kitty. I liked, so I always watched that cutscene. I just thought it was just adorable. So I kind of miss that. For things that I do like, I like the changes to the weapons. I'm running bow and long sword right now. Long sword was fine up until the time I fought the fire ape, and the fire ape just kind of mopped the floor with me, but I got frustrated with that. I switched to bow and he was easy. I mean, bow is still kind of like you know, play bow to win type of thing, because even though it's more complicated to play, it still cranks out a whole bunch of damage. It may not be the highest damage DPS weapon like it was in World, or if not the highest DPS in World, it was pretty close to it. But if you juggle the systems in the bow, you can crank out a whole lot of damage. And longsword, you just have to know the monster patterns. The one thing I will say is that if you're running longsword and you are a defensive player like I am, quick sheath is an essential.
Yeah.
Which is why I run my armor. I pick my armor based on skills more so than defense properties, because you need to have quick sheath at max. When I fought the fire ape, it seemed that my quick sheath, although quicker, was not quick enough to counter all of his moves. But thinking about it, he does a lot of, not feints, but he kind of like has like 1-2 hits. Like he slams his shoulder into the ground, that's one hit, and then he does a charge with his shoulder, burrowing through the ground. That's hit number 2. And I was either Farsight slashing through the first hit and getting mollywopped by the second, or my timing was off with the quick sheath counter, and I was just getting knocked around by that first hit. So I think maybe a lot of it just has to do with understanding the attack patterns. But it's a fun game. And then my last complaint is going to be how your loadouts are done. For whatever reason, I feel that World had a better loadout system. World, you could play. For me, I could get my my buffs and my potions as effectively using the pocket system as I could with the radial system. With this game, they want you to use the radial, and I'm used to using the pocket. Well, pocket seems to switch a little bit slower than it does in World. To me, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But to me, that's what it feels like to me. Radial is super responsive, but setting up your different radials is not inherently it's not it doesn't explain how to set that up. And you can carry multiple radials for whatever it is you're doing. I thought once you set up a radial, it automatically put the stuff in your pocket. It doesn't. You have to put the items in your pocket, and then you have access to them through the radial. So that was confusing to me. So I mean, I sound like I have a bunch of grumpy complaints, and that I'm ready to like pack it up, but it is a fun game. It looks nice. It performs well, at least on console. But do I like it more than World? I'm leaning towards no. but I can't give a definitive answer because I don't think I've played enough of the game yet and seen everything that the game has to offer, including in game. So I will hold that. I will hold that decision until once I get to in game. But do I like the game? Yeah, I do. Although it doesn't sound like I do. But that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with Wilds right now.
Joe, how are you with Wilds?
I'm having fun. I mean, it's just the point that I'm wanting to continue to play. I mean, I liked Rise a lot too. I like World a lot. So it's just, I want to see to where maybe the game within the game's going to kind of be more frequent for me as far as if I want to start concentrating on, okay, if I'm going to be like a great sword main like I have been, maybe grabbing some extra elemental great swords and then taking a look at my armor and see what armors would benefit me as far as great sword are concerned. Maybe look online to see if there's any mixed sets that would be able to, help me out. Yes, as far as that whole schematic, so there's opportunities there. I might even think about maybe switching weapons with my secondary, like I said before. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it as far as everything in of itself. It's like, this is not my first rodeo with Monster Hunter. I've been playing since the first Monster Hunter on PlayStation 2. So, I mean, I was grateful that, that they switched the weapons from the analog stick, the right analog stick back in the day on the first game. This is kind of odd to occur, and I switched. Like we talked about before, we're gaming on PSP, we're gaming on the Wii, we're gaming on the Wii U and the 3DS. So it's like, like there's always been wrinkles with each game where it's like, okay, things are a little bit different, things a little bit more streamlined. One thing I saw that I thought it was kind of interesting that Capcom always seems to re-release all of their games and collections, as of late. Well, how come they haven't done any sort of Monster Hunter retrospective and or retro collection? Imagine, especially after maybe Wilds dies down in a couple of years, if the Rise team is not working on the new game, maybe for Switch 2, which I'm pretty much, I would almost assume that's a given. How much money would you pay to be able to get an HD collection of, like, say, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, Monster Hunter 3 Portable, the game that never came out in the US or in English for the PSP back in the day? I mean, there's a lot of prior Monster Hunters that could be maybe brought out for modern consoles and Steam that everyone would just like lose their shit in.
They don't want that competition. They don't want to compete with themselves, Joe.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't want to compete with themselves when they have something that's actually out there making them some decent money. So while I hear you, and I think that'd be fantastic, they ain't gonna do that. No.
How about you, Des?
I'm liking it. I am really enjoying what I'm playing. It has been a lot of fun. I do think that it's interesting because the character models seem to be a lot bigger. I don't know. It seems like everything has been magnified, which is fine.
Have you done the camera trick as far as to move the camera back?
Oh, yeah. I moved the camera back. Yeah, the cameras moved back. I did all the tricks in there, and a lot of them really did work. The toggle on the weakness spot where you can just tap it once and then it goes on. You'd have to hold it down. That was great. Pulling back the cameras to the field of view. That way you can actually see a lot more stuff. Yeah, I did all that, and a lot of it worked, like gangbusters, and it was great. At the same time, I do have to, agree with Kevin in that there's a certain amount of stuff that I'm like, was this really necessary? Like the changing of the weapons. Like I get it. Sometimes people want to be able to change weapons on the fly. And I think this goes into the whole realm of accessibility, flexibility for the player, possibly keeping a ranged option and an option that is not ranged, melee, close, or if you want to, have a faster weapon and then a slower weapon. So I get kind of what they're doing, but I feel that it was something that was kind of unnecessary in the grand scheme of Monster Hunter. But at the same time, I have to remember that even though we have been playing Monster Hunter, specifically Joe and I have been playing Monster Hunter for a very long time, and we have a lot of history with the game, and with the various games, and we've seen its evolution, and we've kind of been there. It where we see it as something that's unnecessary, maybe other newer quote unquote gamers think that it is, and they like that. So just trying to keep an open mind about that stuff and being like, okay, well, maybe that might not be for me, and options, giving more options might just be a really good thing for everybody involved. So I'm trying to look at it from that point of view. I don't switch my weapons out. I carry a light bowgun with me just in case I want to switch to playing the bowgun. If I have a lot of folks that are doing a lot of close-up damage and close-up attacks and stuff like that, a lot of melee attacks, I can just kind of get sit back in the cut and just kind of fire off. That's my mentality for that. I do miss that you have to cook your own meals. I don't know if the cats got unionized or something, and that's why, they can't cook for you anymore. I don't know.
Doge laid them off.
Yeah, there you go. So.
I like the fact that you don't have to keep cooking each mission that you go on now. The
buffs last for longer. See, again, that's more like accessibility, not accessibility. That's just more like
streamline.
Yeah, streamlining it, and so I think people just want. I just think not people. I think Capcom just wants people to play the game, and this is their way of kind of doing it. So I don't know. Overall, I like the game. I'm going to beat the game. I always beat the Monster Hunter games that I have played. Will I play the DLC or any extra stuff when it comes out? I don't know. We'll see. Probably. But at this point, I'm just kind of enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying the ride. I really enjoy the cutscenes. I think the cutscenes are amazing in the game. So yeah, I'm having a blast with it. So, and Sword and Shield main for life. That's just who I am. That's what I do. No charging vials, no changing stuff, no anything and everything. That's just what I do. I slash and I hack and it goes down. Simple, easy, effective. Cover girl. Let's go.
Do you do a lot of blocking, or is it the point that you mainly just
I roll?
You roll.
I do a lot of evading. I do not block with the shield. You can, but I don't. I mean, yeah, the other one that I'm really interested in is the lance. I like the lance because, again, it is poke, 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 hop, poke, 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 hop. Very specific, very simple. And if you can do the block counter, so it's a fun weapon, a little slower. So those are my two weapons that I think I'm gonna play with, So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's fun. Let's go. So
I'll say one thing is that I like Longsword, but I don't know. I think Longsword was a little bit more fun in World for me personally. Longsword, it seems to be like once you get the meter into the red zone, all you're doing is pressing triangle. You're pressing triangle until your red meter is just about to run out, and then you do the helm splitter. And you've got that follow up to the helm splitter, which wasn't in World, which is kind of dope, but I don't know. The weapon seems a little bit more spammy in in Wilds than it did in World to me. It seemed a little bit more technical in World, which I really did appreciate, although I was never able to master it in World. It felt like something. It felt like it was something that I could strive toward. If that makes sense. In this game, I didn't even fail a quest until I got to the fire ape with the long sword. It's like it really wasn't an issue, and I think that's why I got my clock clean. Um, once I got to, because I've mostly been playing solo. I don't
Mhm.
know why. It's just how it's worked out, mostly because of my schedule and when I'm able to jump on. But I've I've just been lighting up everybody up until the fire ape, and the only reason I couldn't beat the fire ape is because I was always getting caught by his 1-2 hits, the shoulder and then the charge. But now that I understand what his attack patterns are. I don't think I will have as much difficulty beating him with longsword as I did with the first time I met him. The weapon just kind of feels spammy.
Mm.
So I don't know if I'm going to finish the game with longsword. I may switch to greatsword and make that my second because I've always liked greatsword. It's just very chunky, and I know now there's like a parry with it that's pretty dope. So I might switch up. I don't know if I'm not going to say I'm ready to drop longsword yet, but I will be switching to greatsword at some point during my playthrough.
Did you know that you can change your direction while you're charging the greatsword, right, Joe?
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
me?
I'm sorry, you
Yeah.
were talking to Joe.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was talking to
yeah.
Joe because Joe was like, I was seeing Joe like just kind of flying around, missing shots, and I'm like, I wasn't sure if you
Well, it's
knew.
already in my animation, so
But once you're charging, you can kind of move the joystick around and kind of
oh, I know. Yeah, I
Okay.
could move it around just in case to reposition myself while I'm charging. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Just trying to help out. Just trying to help a brother out. So
for
you know.
sure. Maybe get to the training grounds and take a look. So,
That is one thing that I do want to agree with you, Kev. I think what's interesting is like they do not tell you all that you can do with the weapons anymore. They really give
Mhm.
you a basic thing of what you can do with the weapon, and unless I've missed it. So if I've missed it, please let us know in the comments, below, if you're on YouTube or in the Discord, and let us know because if we're playing it, wrong or something, or playing it harder than it needs to be, let us know. Um, because I would love
I,
to
I mean,
know what's going on. Because I don't
yeah,
think I am. I've been playing it for
I mean,
been playing it for a while,
even with,
so.
yeah, even with World, I was looking up tutorials on the weapons that I was using,
Mhm.
just so I had a better understanding. Because in my mind, it's not like World did a great job of explaining how to use your weapons either, but it just felt better. Like when I'm
Mhm.
doing the counters, if I'm remembering correctly, World had a list of moves that you could use in the tutorial. And this tutorial just shows you what buttons you're pushing. And it tells you what move you're executing when you hit that button. I might be mistaken with that, but it doesn't have a list of moves on the screen as you're practicing with the weapon. It just tells you what buttons you're hitting. That to me is like, at least in World, they said, okay, these are some combos that you can do. Now, are they the most effective DPS moves, no. You're probably going to have to experiment or go on YouTube to find that stuff out, but which I don't mind, which I would expect. I don't expect the game to spell out every advanced technique for me, but at least give me the basics. Like,
Yeah.
Heck, man, I didn't even know you could grab stuff with your extender whip. The game doesn't do a good job of letting you know that stuff. It just says, okay, look over here and press X, and it gives you a little on the move cutscene, and it's like, oh, and I just happened to see my assistant just using her thing, grabbing stuff. It's like, can you do that? I didn't know, and maybe it's because I'm grumpy old man not paying attention, but to me, I just the and there is a word for it, the intuitiveness of this game really needs to be. I think that's its biggest stumbling block, personally. And coming from someone whose first experience, who tried one of the earlier Monster Hunter games and said nope, and then came back with at World and really dug it. So I'm one of these I guess I'm a casual. I really think they need to work on the systems and make them more intuitive, because they don't even do a good job of explaining the basic stuff that you can do. At least that's my opinion. And again, I could have gone and looked in all the menus and done all that but for grumpy old man gamer, he ain't got time for that. So tell it to me while I'm playing the game. Otherwise, I'm not likely to find it out. So,
yeah. All right. Well, that's a pretty good conversation about Monster Hunter. And if you have, I know we have a lot of folks who listen to us are playing it. Give us your comments, and we'll definitely take it, and run with it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So that's going to bring us to our next topic, which is Shonos Retro Recon. And my apologies to the listeners. I got nothing for you, because the only other game I've been playing is called Business Building in real life. So that's what I've been doing for most of my time. So with that said, we're going to move on to our main event topic. And we got Des coming at you with that. All right, Des, you got the mic, bro.
All righty. So for this week's main event, we are going to talk about what your favorite character from an RPG is. It could be a main character, or it could be an NPC. You can definitely do more than one. We love to hear from you. Unfortunately, we didn't have that. We didn't have any talkbacks for it. But if you think of anything, let us know, because we will definitely speak about it on a later episode. But for the three of us, I'll start. My character, or that I love, is one of the NPCs was in Skyrim, and this was, if I remember correctly, it was Lydia. If I remember correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, but she was the one, and in the game, she was your first companion in Skyrim. And what you would do is you would get her, and she would say, so the Jarl would give her to you from Whiterun. So you would, one of the first places you went to was Whiterun, and they would give you this, the steward, or your first companion. And she would say, I am, bound to serve your glory. I should have looked this up, Oh, to carry your burdens. I'm bound to carry your burdens. And I'm just like, she said it in such a way that was so, like, disrespectful, that I'm like, like, why would you? Why are you? Yeah, she said, I am sworn to carry your burdens, and I would be like, you need to stop with that. And then what you could do later in the game, when there was this one area where you could take her, and you could literally, yeah, and it was Lydia. You could sacrifice her. And because those you can sacrifice her to one of the Daedric gods to get this. You can sacrifice any companion, but it was more hilarious to sacrifice her because she always seemed like she was just hated life and hated to serve you and hated to do stuff. And so you could definitely like sacrifice her, and people would always do that because she was terrible and people didn't like her. So for my favorite NPC, it would definitely have to be Lydia from Skyrim, just because she was hilarious. And Skyrim gave us so many great like quotes and lines, like the one guard that says, "I took an arrow to the knee," and that was always a good one. And they still, but did your mommy forget your sweet roll? So just when NPCs say stuff like that, and then the NPC that says in Elden Ring, "You have no wenches." It's like, you have no bitches. So this is funny. So NPCs that actively make fun of the main character or the PC is always one of my favorites. Like, it's just, I just absolutely just love those characters to death, and I really hope that in the future, developers will make more NPCs, and so yeah, those would be some of mine for the NPCs. But for as main characters go, the main characters that I really really liked, I'd have to say mostly it come from the Final Fantasy series. Like, I really liked Cloud from Final Fantasy. Is that 9? No, 7.
A 7, yeah.
Yeah, 7. Sorry. I liked him. I liked Cloud because Cloud, even though he had such a crazy mixed up past, as do most characters, that was the first one that when I was playing the game, I really was like, wow, like this is like that whole story and his arc really just kind of like it was crazy good. So I just think, like, when I think of a character, like that character really just speaks to me, and everything that he went through, and it makes sense that they focused on the remakes with 7, because even though that story does get very convoluted, as do most Final Fantasy stories in themselves, that one was like the first one that really, for me, really took off, and I was like, damn, this is really good. And I've played other RPGs before that and everything. I just think, I don't know, there's something about that Final Fantasy game that was like a turning point in RPGs for me. I don't know, and I think I just think a lot of people just weren't ready for that style of storytelling and what happened in that game. I don't know, that game really kind of blew me away when I first played it. So so a lot of those characters are really like, yeah, but that's for me. So Kev, what's a character or what's your favorite character from an RPG, or character main, or yeah.
Okay. I wish I could just like quote character names and situations from RPGs just off dome, but because RPGs have always been a genre that I played, they've never been like my favorite type. You know what I mean? So yeah. I only grasp on to the interest of the characters, regardless of how well written they are and what's going on, just long enough to get to the game, and then I automatically forget about it. Like, if you would have asked about action games, I could rattle off dome about characters like that. But For RPGs, it's a little bit harder. Not because I don't like them. It's just because it's a genre that I never really got into until they started incorporating more interactive combat systems. And even then, they always took a backseat to fighting games and action games. So I'm going to mention a couple of names that I had to really think about and actually do some last minute research into. I'm going to mention Arngrim from the first Valkyrie profile, which was a PlayStation 1 title. It is a game that I really did like. In fact, it was the first RPG, JRPG with a turn-based system that really got me into the actual system. That the first game and the second game, and I kick myself in the nuts for trading that game back. I never should have got rid of it. But Arngrim, I think the reason I liked him is because dude was, I guess he was a berserker. And once you powered him up enough, his special could wipe out like an entire team of people that you're fighting against. And his opening quote for his special is, "I grow tired of you," or like, "I grow tired of your existence."
Fantastic.
It's like you're just okay. You're I'm sending you to the grave with this one move. In fact, there's one part of the game, if I'm remembering correctly, where the evil version of the crew that you start out with, you have to fight them, if I'm not mistaken. And it's funny because like evil Arngrim, for lack of a better term, he's in the courtroom with whoever is commanding them. Again, it's been over a decade since I last played this game. And there's an entire army on their way to overthrow this whoever's the big bad is in this cutscene. And the dude's like, "All right, well, I guess we're gonna get ready and take out this army who's on his way to overthrow me." And Arngrim, the negative Arngrim, or whatever you want to call him, he just kind of gets up. He's like, "I ain't got nothing better to do. I'll go take care of it." It's one dude with a berserker sword. That's it. And he went out and laid waste to everybody.
That's how you do it.
Like the entire army is like, nah, this is light work. So I'll say him. And for a more recent example, and the only reason I'm going to mention this character is because I just love the way she played in Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Narmaya, who is like, I don't know what species she is. She's like a goat girl, goat gal, whatever. She's got like horns, but she carries a katana. And the reason I liked her was because she had two stances that you could just link the stances together. Like if you went from one stance to another during the animation of the prior one, you would just lay out all kinds of damage. Her skill set was more impressive than the crew that you start out with. And wow. There is no story to her. She's just like a person. You get these things called crew cards. I think that's what they were called. You get these crew cards, and she's just a crew person that you can pick. And I picked her, and dude, she became like, I stopped using Gran after I picked her. I just took her to everything because her skill set was just beast mode. It's like she had area attacks, area of effect attacks. She had single enemy, just devastating moves. I mean, all the characters did, but for her, for those bosses that I tried, that I maybe had to use Gran with, and maybe gave me a little bit of trouble in the bonus missions mode. You take her, and it's like cakewalk, and she's almost OP with with her skill set. But yeah, I'll say Narmia is probably the other character that really Narmia is a character that stands out for me as far as RPGs go.
You just felt her, huh? You're like, yes.
Yeah, well, having a katana is a good way to get my attention. So
Cool. All right, Joe, my friend, bring us home.
All right. As far as I can't really per se pick one character, but I could pick certain games and the group of characters, especially the protagonists and maybe the crew that kind of belong. Especially some of the RPGs I like to play, like Dragon Quest, has always been like one of my favorite series, and usually you are the basically the hero, the unnamed hero,
silent protagonist.
Yes. So thinking about Dragon Quest specifically, I think Dragon Quest VIII had a really good like surrounding cast to the silent protagonist. So you're dealing with Yangus, the I don't know if he was Scottish or as far as what kind of dialect he spoke, but yeah, it's like kind of crazy big brute looking dude. Jessica, the mage, she's obviously seeking to avenge her brother, and then Angelo, the Templar Knight, the very prim and proper man, but he's all up for flirting and gambling. So I mean, that whole cast of Dragon Quest VIII was just kind of crazy with the King Trode, the guy that got changed into a troll, and then his daughter, which got transformed. The princess got transformed into a horse, and so you basically go out on this horse and go out to, obviously fight against the big bad that made King Trode into a troll. So it's like, the whole game. I mean, I've played it twice. I have not beat it yet, and I wouldn't mind going back if they bring out a remaster or something like that. I might just be tempted to fire up my 3DS, see where I left off at, and kind of see if I could resume the playthrough then from there on that. So I also enjoyed in the past, I've finished quite a bit of the games in the Grandia series, Grandia 1 and 2. And so I think that the main protagonist in that game, Justin, I just kind of like the story. I like the vibe of everything. When I'm talking about a game I played and beat like back in early or late 1990s, when that game came out for PlayStation, because I followed this game quite a bit. And this was kind of the next game that Game Arts, the developers of Lunar, brought out, but originally it came out just for the Saturn on there. And, eventually when it made it out to PlayStation, it didn't look as good on there, but that whole story of Justin's arc and both CDs, I mean, it kind of resonated with me from way back when on there. So as far as Final Fantasy games are concerned, probably going to throw a curveball, but I think Final Fantasy X kind of stuck out to me a little bit more.
No, 10, really?
Yeah, so Titus, whatever you want to call it, potato.
Oh, you like that one? Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, I kind of felt
you were a sports guy.
Yeah, good old guy. I kind of forgot the name of that water ball thing they played. So it's a blitzball, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it was called blitzball.
Yeah.
Generic baseball thing.
No, it was actually like I think a water polo or something with like a ball or something like that. But
generic water polo.
Yeah, there you go, blitzball. Yeah, but Final Fantasy X seemed like very stood out quite a bit. It's the first Final Fantasy game for PS2 on there, so I kind of felt like even though I played this game like maybe 3/4 of the way through, I need to really finish my RPGs is what I should be doing. So I kind of drop off of it. So I might have to take a look and make a bucket list after I retire, maybe sooner than later. So we'll see. So, and then Falcom always brings like the business, in my opinion. And so Estelle and Joshua Bright from Trails in the Sky, the first game that I've been kind of playing off and on. The script is just like chef's kiss. I mean, Trolls in the Sky, it seems like, I know the people that enjoy the Trails series basically has talked about the integration of the big storyline from game to game to game, and I can't wait to like kind of dig into that whole series and see how everything correlates. But Falcom, I mean, basically this game, from what I've played of it so far, it's just crazy to think of the amount of script that it took to translate the script into English on there. It took like a few translators bringing the original PSP game into English, like literally like a couple of years and a lot of hard work on there. I think they had like 40,000 like words in their retranslation of this particular script on there. It was like kind of ridiculous with Trails. So. But just very kind of, that's the JRPG I kind of like. I don't like the gritty, grimdark, overwrought kind of thing where, I'm just kind of delving into the beginning of the game. Even though I've been playing off and on so much, I've only gone into like chapter 2, I think. And so it's like crazy to think, but the whole interaction between Estelle and her brother Joshua, which is basically a character that was brought in by their father, so it was an adopted brother. So it's like you have to play the game to know more, but I'm probably not selling it. And then last but not least, the first RPG I've ever played in my life, and still to this day, I thought the protagonist was pretty badass, was Elise from the original Phantasy Star from the Sega Master System. I mean, that whole original crew, the 4 characters on there, you had Elise, which is avenging her brother's death, and then you had like Thor, which is this big like honking brute, and then of course you had a cat named Mao, and
gotta have a cat.
Gotta have a cat. Yep. And then there was also a wizard or warlock in the protagonist crew, but even though, I mean, if you're going to look back at that series, it was kind of basic as far as script and whatnot, but I kind of got into it, so I kind of still think about that first RPG I've ever played it. And pretty much it took me like about 5 months to beat. So me mapping out the entire maps of the dungeons because it was first person perspective on graph paper, for God's sake. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if I ever want to go back and re-experience that, maybe I should play some Etrian Odyssey, just to kind of experience that whole graph paper business. So,
well, I would say, Joe, I know you're really kind of like in your feels about that, but there have been, what is it? There have been changes and additions in gaming, technology.
Oh, for sure.
So you'd have to do all that, Joe.
Yeah, I know. The Phantasy Star port that they brought up for the Switch on there actually has an auto map function, and you could actually switch to the dungeon map if need be. So they've kind of added that to the game, and so if I ever want to like blast through and play that game again, probably going to be way easier. Plus, I know the experience is. They have tweaks to the amount of experience that you earn, because that game was freaking grindy as all get out. So yeah. Most old school RPGs like that and the original Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, grindy as all get out. So
yeah, they expected you to grind.
Yes,
which is crazy, but whatever. So cool. So thank you so much, you guys, for sharing your favorite character from an RPG. And as always, if you have anything that you would like to add, put it down in the comments if you're listening on YouTube, or come to our Discord and put it into our main event channel. Stay tuned. At the end of the show, Kevin will let you know how you can join our Discord and all that good stuff. We have a question for next week, and that question is, are you ready for the next console generation? And that's, yes or no, and then explain to us why you are ready or why you're not ready. And yeah, let's talk about it, because as technology gets faster and faster, and things change over and change over. We already got our PlayStation Pro, so it's only a matter of time before we get the new PlayStation, so the new numbered PlayStation. So yeah, let's see. Let us know. Are you ready for this new generation? But I know what you're ready for. It's the Jabroni Gaming News.
All right, thank you, Des.
You're welcome, Joe.
All right, so this past week, the FCC revealed some more information on the Nintendo Switch 2. So based on the Federal Communications Commission filings on here, the filings revealed that the Switch 2 will support NFC via its right Joy-Con controller, likely confirming support for Amiibo figures when playing original Switch games and Switch 2 software. Switch 2 users will also be able to charge the console using either its bottom USB-C port or the new second USB port that's located on the top of the device. According to the filings, which were spotted by The Verge, Switch 2 will also support Wi-Fi 6 networks up to 50 megahertz of bandwidth, up from the original Switch console's Wi-Fi 5 support. On here, FCC filings also indicate that the Nintendo Switch 2 is rated for an AC adapter with a maximum of 15 volts, which is the same as the original Switch, but also mention an AC adapter that goes up to 20 volts. So it's unclear whether Switch 2 will have faster charging speed or more power when docked. On here, previous leak claimed that the Switch 2 dock would require a far more powerful AC adapter than its predecessor, indicating it might have more power when it's docked on here. So, but if we want to find out more about the Switch 2 lineup, that will be on April the 2nd on there. That's coming up. It's sooner than later. So, we'll have to take a look to see as far as once that is out the gate. I think it's airing on April the 2nd, like at least in the West, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's early. It's early. So on there. But, basically the company president, Shintaro Furukawa, said last month that they are going to take all possible measures regarding scalpers, and they're making preparations. So hopefully there's plentiful supply and people can get one if they want one. So, but we'll have to see. Any more thoughts on the Switch 2, Des, as far as these new software features, or hardware features, I should say? So
new fandangled features. No, I mean, I'm gonna be getting it. So if that's what you mean, like day one, it's already a day one get for me. So I'm yeah. So yeah.
I know. I just hope they keep the Amiibo momentum. I know some people really like Amiibos. I think a couple of our friends mentioned the fact that they don't want to see Amiibos go away, per se.
Yeah. I don't think they're going away. I think they make too much money, and they offer something that's really unique, that the other systems do not. And even though other gaming companies have tried, they just haven't been able to match that kind of coolness that is the Amiibo doo-doo.
How about you, Kev? Any excitement for Switch 2? I know we talked about this ad nauseum, but you want to see Bayonetta 3 in all its glory, right?
I just need it to run at a good frame rate. That's going to be it's determining whether I buy it or not, and it's also going to determine whether I even keep my games or not. Because the games that I really wanted to play, the Hyrule series and Bayonetta 3, I have not been able to fully enjoy them because the original Switch frame rate, even when docked, is frame book. It's like flip book level. And I don't feel I should have to resort to the high seas in order to get a decent frame rate from a Nintendo game. That's in my mind is ridiculous. So if the Switch 2, I don't care how great Mario Kart 9 is, if it
Yeah.
cannot play Bayonetta 3 at least 60 frames, if it cannot play the Hyrule games at least 60 frames, then I'm out. I've liked Nintendo games. I have been a Nintendo fan since the beginning, but to be honest, when I stop and think about it, my tastes have changed. I'm more action game oriented now, and there are action games on the Switch, but not a whole lot.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, Mario's cool. I have all the modern Mario games. Have I finished any of them? No. I Kirby's my favorite mascot. I have this latest game. Have I even started it? No. So, it is what it is. It's either going to put a little extra cashola in my pocket when I sell all this stuff. If the Switch 2 cannot meet what I expect, or I'm gonna enjoy the next generation of Nintendo products. So either's a win in my book, as far as I'm concerned.
Good deal. Good deal. All right, next news story kind of took me back when I saw the headline. So look at this headline. It says, Xbox's takeover of PlayStation continues with Forza Horizon 5's Microsoft account requirement. So this is from Windows Central, from said editor Jez Corden, talking about basically that due to Forza Horizon's 5 requirement to sign up for a Microsoft/Xbox account, that they're on their way to quote unquote take over PlayStation on here. And the article talks about a Microsoft account Trojan Horse. So of course of this, Sea of Thieves, Minecraft dungeons, and now Forza Horizon 5 all require a Microsoft account/Xbox account on the system to be able to play the game. So the thought process here, according to the article, is by simple virtue of having a Microsoft account, it should provide a quote-unquote halo effect over Microsoft's engagement goals. Having an account functions as a foot in the door to other Microsoft services, including Xbox and PC Game Pass, but over things like Microsoft Rewards, Bing, Edge, OneDrive, and more. On here, you can expect Microsoft to wield its account requirement as a Trojan horse in order to truly transform PlayStation into a Xbox with blue branding. So, yes, okay. I don't know.
That's a stretch.
That's the Mr. Fantastic Plastic Man stretches over here. I don't know.
That copium is strong, yo.
Well, it's jazz, so I mean. Do we really expect anything different?
They're huffing from a green sock, so that's what they're doing. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying the PSN sign-in requirement for Helldivers 2 was PlayStation's attempt to take over Steam. I mean, this is just copium from people, from professional quote unquote gaming journalists who are seeing their favorite console brand die a miserable death, and this is what they do to cope. This is how they're coping. That's really what it boils down to in my mind. Instead of just reporting on the news and the requirement, we got to give you our little see, they're taking it over. And let's be honest, that's clickbait. So it's going to make people click on the article, and that's revenue for the site. So I get it. I understand how the game is played. But I think for a lot of Xbox fans, this is like a stab in the gut, straight from Phil Spencer himself. So
Well, I know another article I saw talking about another rumor, because God forbid rumors, but talking about that there's a Call of Duty, not the one coming out this year, but the one coming out next year, which I think is going to be Modern Warfare 4, is being developed for the next Xbox. And from what people have said about the next Xbox, and this is just rumors that popped up in the last week since the last show, saying that it's basically going to be a PC with an Xbox front end, basically. So on there, it's going to be a Windows set-top box branded as Xbox with an Xbox dashboard, basically. So.
Didn't Steam try that?
I think they did.
Yeah.
Then they had something called a Steam box.
To me, I mean, if all said and told, if I'd rather see a PC set-top box from Valve versus Microsoft, am I going to buy a game on the Microsoft store / Xbox store? No, I'm not going to buy any games. I have like a Steam library in the hundreds. I have my PSN library in the hundreds. You think I'm going to dedicate buying games for another platform? I mean, it's bad enough that sometimes I'll double dip on Switch or something, but it's like there's only so much room in this world, in this hobby for. I mean, if that's where all your games are as far as previous library and Xbox, I mean, it might be kind of exciting to be able to buy the next Xbox and bring all of say if you had Xbox games in the hundreds in your prior library, not Xbox Game Pass games, but actual games that you spot on the Xbox Live Xbox Store, to be able to play your next console and open it up to Steam. I mean, that might be interesting. So, but for someone that's looking for the Xbox to be like an additional thing, like I want to see what Microsoft has to offer and what games they have to offer, because they do have a lot of studios. They have a lot of cachet on there. Now they're bringing those titles over to other platforms. And so I don't need to buy an Xbox. I mean, I can't see the need. What am I going to buy this next Xbox? I hope to play Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey in high res. I mean, I don't think that's enough of an attraction there. So, or they bring out Crackdown 4 and it's all exclusive to Xbox.
Stop it. It's not going to happen.
I'll play it on Steam. So.
I don't understand. Here's what I don't understand. Okay, you come out with this PC console hybrid, and you have it only, and you only have it attached to the Microsoft Store, where you can only buy games from there, or the Microsoft PC Store. Correction. I guess that's what they call it. What is it called? The Xbox Store, PC
Microsoft Store.
The Microsoft Store. When everybody that games on PC despises it, you refuse to rework it. You refuse to listen to customer feedback to make their experience on there better. I mean, files remain after you delete a game on your systems, which continues to clog up space. I think that's one of the complaints that I've heard, among others. It's clunky, a whole bunch of other things. Again, I've never used it. I'm not a PC gamer. So you're going to cripple your system by having that be a requirement, or you can allow it to Steam to be side loaded, and everybody can just buy their games off Steam. But at that point, unless you're going to slap a 4090 or a 4080 in this thing at a reduced rate that maybe a big corporation like Microsoft might be able to handle from getting components at that high level for a cheaper cost to bring it to market, what's the point? I'll just get a PC. I really don't understand it. And then all your customers that buy this thing would then be giving Steam all their money. Yeah, you could say, Microsoft's still getting paid for every time you buy one of their games. Yeah, but Steam takes 30% of that. Again, I'm wondering where the profit margin is on this product. When you refuse to update your store, and you can just say, well, just sideload Steam on it. Why? Because those people already got a PC.
Yeah, this is from Jez Corden speaking on the Xbox 2 podcast. He stated, the whole idea of the next Xbox is that it's going to be a PC in essence, but with a TV-friendly shell that also has a specific set of specs in mind. So developers will be building for Windows PC in a way, but in such a way that they know exactly what the specs will be. So that's what he stated. So.
Not surprised.
So it's going to be basically a PC in a TV-friendly shell. So
a PC and a
TV-friendly shell. So
So does that mean that if it's a PC in a TV-friendly shell, it's not going to suffer from poorly optimized games that come to PC all the time? That developers are really going to take time and add that specific SKU in their development process when more people have PCs and they're struggling to get those games optimized properly?
Kevin, you're asking too many questions now. You need to stop. Okay, this is okay.
I mean, I don't have a problem with the product coming to market. I don't have a problem with Microsoft. I buried the hatchet with the 360 a while back. What I do have a problem with is their refusal to support their console market in a way that respects the console customer. And putting your games everywhere, day and date, or after the fact. I mean, yeah, Forza Horizon 5 is an older game, but Doom the Dark Ages is coming day and date. And just about every other major title for the future is going to be coming day and date. You're talking about bringing Halo and Gears over to PlayStation.
Day and date.
Each day is going to be day and date if the rumors are true. And Phil says no red lines, and you're going to bring this product to market and offer it to me as a console only player. Why? How? I'm just trying to make it make sense in my head, because it doesn't appeal to me because you're bringing all your stuff to PlayStation. The only way that this console makes any sense, and I'll just say this and I'll shut up about it, is that you gotta slap a 4080, a 4090 in this thing, and just say, okay, here, beast mode activated from a set top box, and or maybe even a 5080 or 5090, because otherwise it just doesn't make any sense. What am I going to get from this that I cannot get from my PS5 Pro? And then you're going to price it. You may wind up pricing it at a level when people were hemming and hawing and balking and $700 for a console when the PS5 Pro price was announced. And then you drop this and you'll say, all right, $950, $1,000.
They can't
You can't justify that in a console. He'll just say, I'll just put a PC together. Then folks will be, oh yeah, you might as well just buy a PC and have it make sense.
Yeah.
Right now, the code name for the new Xbox is Prime, so it's Xbox Prime. Maybe it's Jeff Bezos when Xbox will come to fruition. You never know. So. But what is coming to fruition is a release date for Death Stranding 2 on the beach on here. So Kojima had a panel today, at the South by Southwest 2025 Festival in Austin, Texas on here. And basically in the panel, they announced everything for Death Stranding 2 on the beach. It's coming out on June 26, 2025. And basically they showed a little bit more about the game. It's going to have a digital deluxe for $80, physical for the plain Jane as well. There is a collector's edition of the PS5 sequel. Basically, the collector's edition will cost $229.90.
Ooh.
It includes a 15-inch statue, the Doll Man figurine, art cards, and a letter from Kojima himself, as well as various in-game rewards. It was confirmed the collector's edition will not have a physical disc included. So, Yay. Kojima Productions also announced that it will be launching a music tour featuring music from both Death Stranding games, which will be touring worldwide beginning in November. On here, Death Stranding Strands of Harmony will visit LA, Austin, Chicago, Seattle, Newark, Boston, Toronto, and other major metropolitan cities throughout the world on there. So I'm not sure if Death Stranding would warrant a concert tour, but hey, by all means. So
yeah, make it work.
Yep. And so it made me think about, as far as what was shown and whatnot. Have you played the original Death Stranding, Des, or is that something that you were thinking about maybe playing, or hell's no, it's like too off the...
It's just a little too esoteric for me. So, I believe if you're gonna play that and enjoy it, more power to you, but it's just not my bag, sir. Not my bag.
I was debating about playing Death Stranding finally. I mean, I have it installed on my PlayStation 5, and it's something to where I might give it a shot. Some people kind of thought the gameplay was a little bit relaxing, as far as it mainly was a road building simulator in the end.
Yeah, you were like a postman almost.
Yeah, postman delivering packages and then laying down like road, basically, to go across the United States.
I'm good.
Title, yeah. So, but I think it's kind of cool that they're bringing it out in the summer too. Just to kind of fill in the gap in the schedule and whatnot. So I know some people online were lamenting the fact that there was no Xbox version announced at the beginning, but Death Stranding 2 looks like the beast for people that love Kojima's games. We'll have to see. Kev, are you any interest in Death Stranding 2 on the beach, or is it like, it's already beached? It's like a beach whale.
I didn't play the first one. I had it and traded it back. I don't know. I just really couldn't get grabbed into it from a mechanic standpoint. And I probably didn't play it long enough to really give it a proper opportunity. This one looks more action-based because I saw him shooting a bunch of stuff. Then there was vehicular combat, which that type of thing is in my wheelhouse for sure. So if there's a heavier emphasis on action this time around, then I'm in. I'll have to find out more about the gaming content as the release date approaches. But I liked what I saw. Some very, from a design perspective, very creative, very creepy enemies. I don't know if they were bosses or just things you come across as in your adventure, but I saw some gunplay there. I saw some vehicular combat, as I mentioned there. And if there's a heavier emphasis on that type of stuff, then I'll definitely play it.
I'm like I was telling Des just a minute ago, I was thinking about, because it is Death Stranding 1 Director's Cut's available on PlayStation Extra, as far as on the PlayStation Plus Extra. So it might be something to where, I might give it a shot before the game comes out in June and see if I like the original and kind of take it from there. So I'm definitely not buying the collector's edition because it doesn't even include the physical disc for everything that's in there. So, you could take all the statues and everything you'd want, mean, if they would put a steelbook in this damn thing, maybe I'd think about it, but it's so hard.
No disc.
No disc.
Screw that noise.
Yeah. Yep.
No, if you're doing all that, but you can't put a disc in there, miss me with that.
No, it's PlayStation's MO lately with the God of Wars, Ragnarok, and then the Horizon Forbidden West. Both the collector's editions didn't have a disc, so
it's annoying.
I'll have to see. So, also this week there was a sequel / maybe expansion announced for RoboCop Rogue City. So RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business will see RoboCop climbing a large enemy-filled tower block on here. So imagine RoboCop playing the role of Judge Dredd. Like Judge Dredd, as far as in the latest Dredd movie from the last 10 years or whatnot, Carl Urban on here. Basically, it will see RoboCop scaling up the Omni Tower, a large housing complex created by OCP to provide for the needs of the residents of Old Detroit. But I guess a group of highly trained mercenaries armed with cutting-edge weapons take control of the building and turn it into their deadly fortress. So RoboCop must take action to stop their plans to undermine law and order on here. So according to publisher Nacon, players will have to deal with numerous new high-tech threats in Omni Tower, from flying drones and exploding bots to anti-personnel turrets. God, sounds like Ukraine or something.
Wow.
God.
Really, Joe?
So
can't wait for the PC mods for this one.
Well, it's kind of taken a motif of a tower, like crawling up the tower, just like with that Judge Dredd movie. What was another? I think there was another movie that had the same motif on here.
Oh, I don't know.
But,
the tower.
I think it was On the Block, I think, or something like that. I'm trying to remember the name of that movie. I don't know, but
wasn't there a Chow Yun Fat with the same basic premise? Wasn't there a Chow Yun Fat movie with that?
Probably.
Where he had to where he had to get through a high rise using kung fu and gunplay.
Probably.
Anyway, yeah.
I don't know. Probably. I mean, shit.
Oh, this other movie called The Raid. That's the other movie that they're talking
The
about.
Raid. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, The Raid. Yeah, that's the movie I was thinking about too. So, and that might be the movie you're thinking about too. Yeah, that basically The Raid. You have to. Basically, there was a SWAT team trapped in a tower block, basically having to go up the top of the tower on there. So, get to the tower.
Well, the first RoboCop was excellent. If you're a fan of the movie, you will enjoy the game. Kind of some difficulty spikes along the way once I finished it that were a little unexpected, but if you adjust the difficulty as you go, like I did, then I think it's a fully enjoyable game. So I'm down with this. I'm definitely down with this. I don't know. Is this going to be like a downloadable? Is this downloadable content, or is this going to be a new game?
It's considered a new game on here.
Okay.
So,
well, hopefully they have a physical.
There might be, yes, standalone follow up. They said so.
Yeah, day one for me on that.
So, also announced this past week, Activision finally announced, has been leaked here, there, and everywhere. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remaster is coming out for consoles and PC. It's coming out on July 11th, 2025 on here. So it is cross-platform. Online multiplayer will be available for Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PS5, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Battle.net, Windows, and Steam. It will also launch day one with Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass on here. So taking a look at there's also a collector's edition for $129.99 that comes with a physical skateboard deck, a physical copy of the game, plus all the digital deluxe content. So there you go. You got a physical skateboard with this thing and a physical disc. So hey, I think that should be more than enough screw Kojima is like $230,
Yeah.
15-inch statue. You get a damn skate deck, which I don't think any of us have. At least my fat ass is not going to be on a skateboard anytime soon.
No.
Yeah. Skate or die. Some people were squawking online though, kind of bitching because basically they removed the career mode out of these games, so there's no career mode to do. So it's like wah wah wah, I guess. So I saw some people back and forth saying this is the true definitive edition. They were showing an Xbox One, an original Xbox copy of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 with the Greatest Hits edition with the career mode. I guess that they were just crying about it not being included in this particular remaster. So, I could understand why if they really wanting this career mode in the game, but c'est la vie. So on it. Are either of you two interested in this at all?
I kind of am, only because I played all of them, and so for me, it would just be to have it in the collection. But I don't know if that's a good enough reason.
I think Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 wound up being on PlayStation Plus for an essential game for a particular month. So I think I have it. So I might have to go back and just play that to kind of get a feel for whether I even need to buy 3 and 4, on here. One thing they said about the game, though, that, they introduced Bam Margera.
It probably took him out.
Oh, he is not returning at all.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, so he's obviously he has not exactly been in the best of ways in recent years. So yeah, that he is not being included in the remaster at all. So
what
I
did
guess
he do? I don't know. I don't even know who that guy is.
He had a falling out with the Jackass crew and some other people. So he just he was, I guess he was into like drugs and some other stuff, and so this is not a good look for.
Well, isn't that 98% of Hollywood anyway?
Yeah.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. got strung out, and they made him Iron Man after the fact. So
he came back though.
Yeah, Bam Margera right now is not back from all this abuse. He's into this abuse currently.
Yeah,
so
that's the difference.
Yeah, still, I mean, how many of these people are actively getting high? That doesn't seem like a bad enough reason to keep the dude out. It's not like he killed anybody.
Well,
maybe he did. I don't know.
It's all about business. If he's suing his Jackass crew and so on and so forth. Yeah, no. Now
so you're not bringing him, because dudes that put themselves in harm's way and so are supposedly sober when they do it. And we're not letting this dude back because he takes some dope. Okay.
I don't know. I could
make it make sense. I'm just saying, make it make sense. I'm in comparison to what goes on in modern Hollywood. It's just kind of odd to me.
Well, maybe I'll have to research Bam Margera. We'll talk about next episode. So.
I don't know if Lawrence saw that. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying,
due to issues related to substance abuse, he was fired from Jackass Forever after he was issued a restraining order from Jackass director Jeff Tremaine. Tremaine had previously fought for years to include Margera in the reunion film, I guess. So VGC did reach out to Margera and Activision for comment. Obviously, they didn't say jack shit. So
meanwhile, you can kidnap people, create your own cult, and star in the Flash movie after the fact.
We ain't seen much of him either, though. So
I mean, but still, they went on ahead and paid him that money to play that role when he was actively charged with that stuff.
WB and DC want that money. They still want to make that money. Say, hey, I have this new Flash film. Hey, don't pay any mind.
See,
Flash.
We got too much money involved in this.
Hollywood has there is no rationale in what it does. And this, if they're keeping him out of this freaking video game, it's because he's got a drug issue. And you could kidnap people, break into homes, and star in a wannabe blockbuster summer film at the same time. Again, make it make sense.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
I don't know. I know that he's been like arrested and
Let it go, Joe.
Yeah, okay. All right, last news story. And we end this Jabroni Gaming news for this episode. Hori's Fighting Commander Octa is getting a pro version of its officially licensed PS5 fighting gamepad. Right now, it's available for pre-order on Amazon for $99.99. So the new wireless Fighting Commander Octa Pro includes a 6-button layout and an 8-gate analog stick similar to the original Octa, but it is wireless, includes back buttons and interchangeable D-pads on here. So I know some people have used this controller, like this is the same controller Tekken 8 player Chikarun. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He used this controller to win the EVO Japan 2024 championship. So on here, I did get a chance to try this controller at TGS. So they had pretty much a beta version or a prototype of this. And I haven't really used the Fighting Commander Octa for PS5, the wired one, all that much. But with Fatal Fury coming out and whatnot, I went ahead and pre-ordered this bad boy. So on this, Kev, are you interested in getting a new fighting game pad, or are you pretty much sticking with your leverless options?
I'm rolling leverless. It's just I not that I've been playing fighting games all that often, but yeah, to me, I don't have to worry about rubbing my thumb raw, all that other stuff.
That's what she said.
Giggity. So yeah, I'm good on this. There was a time, because that was back when I was heavily into fighting games on the Saturn, where a controller like this would have been right in my wheelhouse. But that time is long since passed. So I get it. The pad is preferred by a lot of people, and it looks like it's going to be good. It's a serious contender. The fact that it's got an 8-way gate in the control pad, in the control stick.
Yeah, the analog stick.
And the analog stick, yeah.
Analog stick has a 8-gate analog stick, yeah.
That's nuts. So, I mean, that's definitely a serious contender, but I need to get my muscle memory locked into leverless, and I'm debating whether or not I want to trade in the one I have, or sell the one I have to get this new one that's coming out from Hori. Just so happens Hori has one, and that looks really dope. And Hitbox has another one that's coming out that really looks really, really interesting. So we'll see.
Maybe I'll have to borrow one from you, or try that at your house, just like how Dez always says.
Yeah,
about leverless. I just see them, and I just don't get the whole concept of using it. So
there is a mental gymnastic that you have to do, and I can't remember what channel it was, but when I heard it, it just clicked in my mind. Think of up as jump. And once you do that, because down is up and up is down, as far as leverless controls go. So whenever if you're in the lab and you're trying to figure out fighting moves and whatnot, whenever you see up, your mind says, I got to hit the button that's up. No, you have to hit the button that's down. But if you think of up every time you see up, and you train your mind to think up as jump, whether there is a jump action in the game that you're playing or not. It completely makes all the sense in the world, and it makes acclimating your muscle memory a whole lot easier in your mind.
Got it. Well, I did pre-order this Fighting Commander Octa Pro. It's coming out on April the 14th, so I'll be able to give a first-hand account, hopefully, on this thing. And I know Fatal Fury City of the Wolves is coming out later on in the month, so so we'll have to see. I'll give my first-hand account, take it from there. But that is the Jabroni Gaming News for episode 275.
Sounds good. Game night takes place every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. That is the day and time that we set aside to play games with our growing Discord community. So if there is a game that you'd be interested in playing either with us or any of our other Discord community members, post it in the game night section. Now you might be saying, well, I'm not a member. How do I join your Discord? That's easy as well. All you do is head over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X, or Blue Sky, and head over to @GamingVessels, GamingVessels. Click the link in the bio, and you are in. There is not going to be any merch that we're going to try and hawk to you, and we do not have a Patreon tier list for you to pay for. All we ask is that you just be a kind-hearted individual who loves talking and playing video games. If you meet that criteria, I think you will find a happy home aboard the good ship Gaming Vessel. So that is going to bring episode 275 to a close. Again, want to thank y'all for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out, without a doubt, with us for this episode. So for Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Hater.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Step Daddy. And for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I am Shonuff71, a.k.a. Digadulamite.
That purple bling bling, y'all.
And we'll be back. We'll be back next week, episode 276 for your ears. Peace.
Never forget purple bling bling, y'all.